We got some Friday night action. We got Boise State going on the road to take on Nevada. It's an 8 p.m. Mountain Time game on CBS Sportsnet. Boise State opens up 21.5-point favorites. The over-under on this one's 50.5. Boise State's rolling hot right now. The only slip-up coming in the way of early season to South Florida. They lost to Notre Dame, but since then they've been on a tear, especially in the conference. 3-0 in Mountain West play. Taking on Nevada, bottom of the barrel, 1-6 on the season, 0-3 in conference play. A game that shouldn't be close by any means, and I don't think it will. Of course, these Friday night matchups have had a way of going the other direction and turning out completely opposite of what we'd expect. I don't think it happens this time around. Boise State's they're not looking to slip up anytime soon. Definitely not the Nevada team, who's offense abysmal, defense lackluster. Nevada coming in this game averaging 15.6 points per game. Turnover ratio -9. Boise State averaging about 36 points per game, +1 on the turnover ratio. Boise State coming off arguably the best one of the season, completely dominating UNLV yet again. Still very likely to meet up again for a Mountain West title. Handled them with ease, after a close first half. Pulled away with the use of Dylan Riley in the running game. Maddox Matson was effective. He put up 4 touchdowns in that game. Meanwhile, Nevada, they lose a close one to New Mexico on the road. Game, probably their best chance at a conference win this season. They lose that game by 2 points. As they had no turnovers. Meanwhile, New Mexico had 2 turnovers in that game, 2 fumbles, recovered by Nevada, and they still couldn't pull it off. Most of their penalties came in the way of offsides. I think 3 or 4 off of one drive alone for the Nevada defense. There's not really much good right now with this Wolfpack team. Meanwhile, for Boise State, rolling in hot. Their running game is unstoppable. Their passing is effective. Their defense is solid. They pressure quarterbacks very well. Limit mistakes all around. This is a game where they could very easily, throw all over Nevada, but I think they're going to just utilize the running game. I think Dylan Riley is going to have another big day. I think Sire Gaines is going to have a big day. Malik Sherrod probably will have a big day. I think they're going to get all their running backs in. I think they're going to put in the second string sometime in the third quarter. That's how much of a blowout I think it may be. I say all this with, complete expectation that Boise State should get them out of this one early, but it's a Friday night game. It's mid-October. I mean, teams have a way of slipping up. I don't think it'll be Boise State, but you have to keep an eye out. You can't come out lethargic and sleeping in this one, and if they pull off this upset, there probably should be an investigation because it just shouldn't be close from the start. I expect Boise State to run away with this one, and you may be flipping the channel early on to watch something else. It's Boise State going on the road to take on Nevada. It's 8 p.m. Mountain Time game on CBS Sportsnet. Be sure to check this one out. This one feels like a rivalry, even if it's only one-sided. We got Utah State going on the road to take on New Mexico. 1 p.m. Mountain Time game on Mountain West Network. Both teams enter this one 4-3 on the season. For Utah State, they're 2-1 in conference play. Meanwhile, New Mexico 1-2 in conference play. New Mexico comes in this game 1.5-point favorites. The over/under on it's 63.5. Like I said, this feels like a rivalry. It's be bad blood for New Mexico fans having Bronco Mendenhall return back to Albuquerque for a new team only 1 year later. Both teams have surprised, I believe, in Mountain West play. Utah State offense is explosive. Their defense has gotten better, week to week, and they've really been able to compete with most teams that they played against. Meanwhile, New Mexico started off rolling hot, over exceeding every expectations teams had for them this year. Lose back-to-back conference games, but they rebound with a win against bottom feeder Nevada last week. Now both teams are on a collision course for what should be a great game. Hopefully a lot of back and forth. I see why the spread's so close. I mean, who do you rely on more? I mean, right now it's hard to go against Utah State. They're proven offensively. It seems like they have much easier time scoring. Bryson Barnes, probably the best quarterback in the conference, going up against New Mexico, who, although they have a great running game and a great trio of running backs, it really has been working the past couple of weeks for them. Jack Lane, who's been really questionable the past 3 weeks, finally had a much better game last week and utilized his feet way more, and I think that was key in getting a win for the Lobos. Both teams use these play action passes and sort of trick plays. The real difference in this game is the turnovers. Lobos are minus 12 on the turnover ratio. Meanwhile, Utah State, they're plus 2. New Mexico averages around 28 points per game. Utah State around 34 points per game. You get the feeling that if New Mexico is turnover prone, they just can't win this game. And I believe that Bryson Barnes and Miles Davis and that Utah State offense will capitalize on the mistakes that New Mexico does. I feel like New Mexico's only chance is if they can match score for score, if they can utilize that read option, just like I think Utah State will be able to do. Keep the defense honest if you're New Mexico and let them strategize more for QB run. I believe Scott Trey Humphrey's going to have a good day. I think he's going to be able to put up some pretty good stats. Utah State's defense isn't one of the best in the Mountain West. So I think there's opportunity there. Meanwhile, for Utah State, I mean, I would believe there's going to be holes in the Lobos defense, certainly in the secondary, but also Barnes sees an open field, take advantage of it. Go up the middle on them. They like, New Mexico likes to spread out their linebackers, clear out the middle. If you're Utah State, you take advantage of it and have a day. Barnes could put up 100 yards the way New Mexico likes to clear out that middle, and but they do have a good D-line. I think if the D-line can get to Barnes, limit him, keep him inside the pocket, force some bad passes, it'll help out Lobos get some stops. Braden Pagan can have a great day across the secondary. It seems like often the Lobo secondary gets lost in mix. Opposing receivers find themselves wide open. I think Pagan can take advantage of that, and Bryson Barnes may be able to find the deep ball quite often in this game. Jack Lane's going to have to find Dorian Thomas way more than he has been able to the past 3 weeks. He's going to have to be his go-to guy, and when you see him go across the middle, find the big body target in Thomas and rely on him to catch the ball. This is a great matchup between two teams sort of equally matched, two teams that I think no one in the Mountain West figured would be able to put up a decent season, and both teams 2 games away from being in a bowl game in 2025. So a great matchup all the way around. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top and who makes the least amount of mistakes in this one. It's Utah State going on the road to take on New Mexico. It's a 1 p.m. Mountain Time game on Mountain West Network. Be sure to check this one out. Fittingly, the game of the week, we got San Diego State going on the road to take on Fresno State. It's a 1:30 Mountain Time game on FS1. We got San Diego State 5-1 on the season. We got Fresno State 5-2 on the season. San Diego State 2-0 in conference play. We got Fresno State 2-1 in conference play. San Diego State comes in this one 2.5 point favorites. The over/under on this one's 48.5. Two teams that have sort of quietly been rolling in hot. This is the first real test for both of them. We got great defense in San Diego State. We got an offense that does just enough to secure a win for the Aztecs. Meanwhile, you got Fresno State, who's a decent defense team, but their offense has been key, and they've won in the weirdest of ways. Despite a turnover-prone quarterback in E.J. Warner, they find themselves 5-2 on the season. Jaden Danigel's stats aren't eye-popping. He's got 1,097 yards passing. He's got 7 touchdowns. He only got 2 interceptions on the season, but he's done it cleanly. He's done just enough to keep his offense rolling and keep his defense off the field for as long as possible. Lucky Sutton has been their go-to guy. 531 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns rushing on the season. This is an offense averaging 31 points per game on the season. Turnover ratio, they're +4. So, they've been playing relatively clean football. E.J. Warner has been The reason why they won and lost games this season. He's got 1,486 yards passing on this season. He's got 10 touchdowns. He's got 9 interceptions. Bryson Donaldson and Rayshawn Luke have been the dynamic duo that have really been leaned on for this Fresno State offense so far. Donaldson, 405 yards rushing on the season, 3 rushing touchdowns on the season. Rayshawn Luke, 384 yards on the season, 5 rushing touchdowns. They've been the workhorses that Warner relies on to get downfield, and they've done a good job thus far this season. They average 29 points per game. They're -3 on turnover ratio. This is a great matchup because you got a turnover-prone Fresno State team, and you have a San Diego State defense that can take advantage of those types of turnovers. So, great yin and yang matchup for them. I think San Diego State's offense is never wowing anybody, but they do enough to, they score, they limit turnovers. What's more to like about them? This is a game where you feel like if San Diego State's defense can handle business and get stops, get turnovers against Fresno State, that San Diego State's going to roll into a victory. They never need to do too much to win a game. Now, that can come back and bite you when Fresno State's got the lead late and San Diego State has to make a over-the-top play. Do you rely on Denegal and that offense to go above and beyond? We'll see. I don't know if it'll get to that. I think the Aztecs are playing better football right now. I think they're the more dangerous team all around. It is a road game, and it's against a team that's got a lot to prove. They're looking to get to a bowl game. They're looking to get to the top of the Mountain West still. It's not going to be much of a quarterback versus quarterback battle. I think it's going to be that Aztecs defense being stingy, and can E.J. Warner and that offense get past that type of defense. I could see this being a close game. I do favor San Diego State in this one just because what they've proven thus far, and defense wins championships, and I see them getting a win on Saturday because of that Aztecs defense. San Diego State going on the road, take on Fresno State. It's a 1:30 Mountain Time game on FS1. Be sure to check this one out. Our final Mountain West matchup of the day, we got Colorado State going on the road to take on Wyoming. It's a 5:30 Mountain Time game on CBS Sportsnet. Both teams desperately need a win. Probably more so for Wyoming because Colorado State departs ways with Jay Norvell after 4 seasons. They're a team that's clearly going to be in rebuild, and that rebuild doesn't start, till the end of this season. So what momentum, what hope do they have the rest of the way? I don't see much there. As for Wyoming, they're still very much in it. 3-4 in the season, 1-2 in conference play. There's still opportunity for them to salvage this season. As for Colorado State, 2-5 on the year, 1-2 in conference play. It just feels like it's a done year for them. Wyoming comes in this 4.5 point favorites. The over/under on this one's 46.5. I would say Wyoming is a shoo-in to win this game, but that's not really how they've been playing. After their disappointing fourth quarter finish against Air Force, I don't think any game's a shoo-in for Wyoming at this point. Still very much opportunity if they can win this game. Got 4 wins on the season. You got to sneak out another 2 wins somewhere along the way, but right now you just don't got too much faith in the Cowboys. As for Colorado State, you really have no faith. Depart from your coach. What's it going to look like with interim going in this game? Colorado State comes in this averaging about 22 points per game. Wyoming, 20 points per game. Colorado State's +2 on the turnover ratio. Meanwhile, Wyoming, they're -4. Jackson Broussard's played rather decent this season with the limited starts he's gotten. 740 yards passing on the season, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions yet. Caden Anderson, 1,480 yards passing on the season, 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Those interceptions coming at crucial moments. The emergence of Teron Kelman has been huge, but it still hasn't really helped them out finishing games late. Samuel Harris and Sam Scott help out that trio of running backs there. Colorado State still relies on their running game with Dupree and Avant, but it really has not affected them in the way of winning games. Colorado State's case, they have trouble closing out games. Wyoming, despite their loss to Air Force, has been better in the second half and in closing out games and coming back from huge deficits. You got to lean on Wyoming and what they can do right now. They're at home, still have their coaching staff intact, have a frequency of letting games get out of hand early, but right now, if they're going to get a win, a decisive, easy win, you think it's going to come against, a fractured Colorado State team. Certainly the Cowboys have no reason to let off the brakes before this game even starts. They're going to have to be in it for 4 quarters. I don't expect the Rams to have much fight in them going in this game, but anything can happen. And these teams are too evenly matched and too close in record to let anyone slip up. And I think you're going to get the best out of both teams. I think the Cowboys close this one out, relying on Wyoming's defense to pull one out for them, and hopefully the running games weren't going to affect it for the Cowboys. It's a 5:30 Mountain Time game on CBS Sportsnet. We got Colorado State go on the road, take on Wyoming. Be sure to check this one out.